Hello everyone, FPO Willem here. In this video I will talk about my favorite wildcard team for matchday 6. We will go through the target sheet, then we will build the wildcard, and after it I'll show you guys the options for round 7 and 8 when you've built this wildcard team. Hope you guys enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, all the good things. Let's jump into the targets. Now first off, this video is recorded on Thursday the 5th of December. Things can change over the weekend, maybe even longer. There are games being played right now at this moment. I'm recording it. Just keep an eye on the weekend and make your transfers as late as possible to have all the information you need. You can already build a wildcard team and you can submit it. If there are going to be some injuries in your team, you can just transfer them out for free. So yeah, if you guys are curious, you could already build a wildcard team. Secondly, I won't wildcard myself. I am on a limitless strategy, as you guys should know, because if you watched the last video, you guys know I am on a limitless strategy. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just dive into the targets. Now, as you guys can see, Milan, Arsenal, Bayern Munich and Liverpool have all great green fixtures. So these 4 teams have 3 great fixtures in a row. So if you want wildcard or if you will wildcard, we will focus with the wildcard on these 4 teams. But if you want wildcard, I would recommend to focus on these 4 teams. If you have the money in the bank, of course, that's important. Other teams with great fixtures are also good as well, but they are just a bit of a lesser team like PSV, or they have a worse fixture run than the ones called out before. It could depend on your strategy, so I've put in multiple options. As I've said before with PSV, Celtic and Stuttgart have 2 great games, but have a bad one in matchday 8, and they are just a bit of a lesser team than Milan, Arsenal, Bayern Munich and Liverpool. And yeah, they have a bit of a worse game, but you need some cheap enablers, so these are great teams to fixtures on with a bit of, well, not premium options there. Real Madrid, Barcelona and Aston Villa are the opposite. They have premium players, or at least Real Madrid and Barcelona, but they just have a first difficult game. After it, it's a bit, well, it's way better. As you can see for Real Madrid, it's Salzburg and Brest in matchday 7 and 8. And for Villa, you could even say Leipzig isn't even that difficult with the form Leipzig is in right now. So yeah, these are the teams you want to focus on. It depends on your budget who to bring in, but as this is a wildcard team, this will be a team everyone should be able to afford. Now for the goalkeepers, I've decided to save some money with Israel from Sporting and Nubel from Stuttgart. The teams aren't quite defensive powerhouses like an Arsenal or Inter, but they have good fixtures with potential for clean sheets. You guys will also see my full team when the wildcard is done, so you can see how they switch up. And below me you can see Nubel plays on the Wednesday, then Israel on the Tuesday, vice versa after it. I would also like to add on in this draft that you could replace Nubel with Oblak from Atletico Madrid, as you will have the money to bring him in. But just in case you need some money, I've gone with Nubel and Israel, so you can yeah, get some bigger players in the field. As in the goalkeeping department, you won't really make a difference maybe in the later stages, as teams will look alike, and maybe you can make a difference with the goalies. But in the group phase, or in the league phase as it's now, you won't really make a big difference with your keeper, and maybe even with a few save points. Even if you get a goal against you, it's maybe if you get 3 saves and 1 goal against you, you still get 3 points. And an expensive keeper like Raya is 6 million, you get 6 points. Probably you won't really get 3 saves there, so you only gain like 3 points there. So they still have opportunities for clean sheets. Not per se the best fixtures, but yeah, still opportunity for clean sheets. Now in the defense, I've decided to go with Gabriel, Kim, Langlais, Hernandez and Hakimi. Now Gabriel and Kim and Hernandez are basically open doors. I've talked about them a lot. There are like 4 good things about them, and that's basically the fixture run that they have, the quality of the team, some ball recovery points there as well, and the attacking returns. I mean, Gabriel scoring headers, Kim scored a header, and Hernandez isn't doing doing as much as last season, but there is some big opportunities, as he's shown in the last seasons, that he can be on penalty there as well. I don't know who takes it, but if the guy is off who usually takes the penalties, Hernandez is second in the department there. And for Langlais and Hakimi, it's a bit different, as they do not contain all of those 4 points I've just mentioned. Langlais is a good Atletico Madrid option, or an Atletico Madrid player who is playing regularly, and expect him to play in the upcoming games, especially against Slovan Bratislava. He gets decent ball recoveries, but they don't expect any attacking threats there. So yeah, great option. He has Leverkusen in matchday 7. but it is on a Tuesday, so at least you can sub him out if needed. Yeah, as I said, slight issue with the Leverkusen there. And Hakimi is basically a one-game punt as they play in matchday 7 against Manchester City, but everyone knows his quality, and as the Salzburg aren't really doing good defensively and attackingly, yeah, not great at all. You could take Hakimi out for someone else who has a better fixture run. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold has a great fixture run, but with Liverpool, they might be already qualified for the next round, so Trent could lose his place because he's getting some rest there. I think Hakimi is a great option, and it will be an option I will be taking out in matchday 7 if I would wildcard in this team. But yeah, this is my defense I would have chosen if I would wildcard. Let's move on to the midfield. Now in the midfield, I've decided to go with Pulisic, Saka, Musiala, Koen and Bellingham. Now once again, Pulisic, Saka and Musiala, same team as my defenders from Milan, Arsenal and Bayern. I've set that in my target sheet, and as you can see in the defense, I have 3 of them there as well. Koen is just a great enabler for only 4.7. He's attacking and he has some decent fixtures there. He might not score, but at least you can count on him with some attacking threats, so it will be a bit of more exciting to watch Celtic. You always need some cheap players, yeah, to afford your premiums. I've said it in a lot of videos before, but it's important to always have a few cheap players. As you can see, my goalies aren't really expensive, but they have the least potential, as I've said before. And Koen, yeah, I just need some money to afford my attack. Now, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about Bellingham, but I think he's a great differential with potential to score big points. He took a penalty in the competition and scored. So it's basically, Mbappé isn't the main penalty taker anymore. And I've written this before the game from last day, so from the Wednesday. Mbappé missed another penalty. So I think, yeah, Bellingham is safe to say he's on penalties. Now, penalties isn't that big of a thing, but it is important to mention. He scored 4 in his last 4 competition games there as well. I've written this, as I said, before the game yesterday, and he scored again yesterday. So it's 4 out of 4, and he's really active on the field. With Atalanta, Salzburg and Brest coming up, I think you have quite the player in the squad. So yeah, that is basically my midfield. Moving on to the forwards. Now, I've mentioned it in my Limitless video, and I will mention it in my wildcard video. Kane is injured, which gives me a lot of extra money in other places, like affording Bellingham in my previous slide. But it made it a bit more difficult with picking my forwards. There are a lot of good ones, but it does have to fit into this wildcard team, and it does have to fit in with the upcoming games there as well. So it has to be, yeah, some great teams with the best fixtures you can find. So I've gone with the goal magnet Gyökeres and goal magnet Lewandowski. I guess you can both call them goal magnets. Gyökeres has great fixtures all around, and Lewandowski only has Dortmund as a difficult game, and after it, it's smooth sailing. And yeah, they're just both scoring a lot of goals. Lewandowski is getting unlucky not getting man of the match, as he's scoring basically 2 every game, but every time it's someone else, which is quite unlucky, but maybe you will get it in matchday 6, 7 or 8. And I've gone with Watkins. Now, Watkins hasn't done really that much so far. He did yesterday great. He got an assist and a goal. So that's a better start, or at least a bit of, he's finding a bit of form there. But he has been decent in the league. And with the upcoming games against an injured Leipzig, a leaky Monaco, and then Celtic at home, I think he can finally start to score some goals. And now I understand that Havertz is also a great option. But I have a small problem with matchday 7, which I will show you guys in the next slide. Now, in this sheet, I will talk about the fixtures from the wildcard draft and what day they play. As you can see, the goalkeepers have yellow fixtures, which means it's doable, but not all too great. Now, and just to avoid some confusion, for Israel, the Sporting goalkeeper, I've put Brugge in yellow, and for Gyökeres, the Sporting striker, I've put Gyökeres in dark green. This is basically because a single goal can ruin a keeper's game, and it won't for a striker. And now that I've cleared that out of the way, the goalies switch up at least every match day, so there's hope for a clean sheet, or double the hope for a clean sheet. If you want to increase that hope, you could put in an Oblak instead of Nubel. The fixtures will stay the same, or the days will stay the same. And Oblak plays against Slovan Bratislava on the Wednesday at home. So you will increase the clean sheet, but I don't think it's worth it for 1.1 or maybe even 1.5 million more. But you could afford it with this team. Now, for the defenders, there isn't really anything to say, and actually, to be honest, if I look at the team, there isn't really anything to say about the whole team here. The matchday 6 is just great. Maybe the only thing is Lewandowski. He has a difficult game against Dortmund, but I think Barca attacking-wise is strong enough to counter that Dortmund fixture. Now, for matchday 7, you can see that a lot of players in this list play on the Wednesday, and that's basically why I've decided to go with Watkins, because he fills in a Tuesday spot Watkins also gives you the opportunity to go with Oblak in goal instead of Nubel. If you go with Havertz, then Oblak isn't an option anymore. In matchday 7 you can also see that I've taken out Hakimi. I don't think Hakimi against Manchester City is a great option. It isn't the worst at home against City, but it's on a Wednesday there as well, so maybe it is the worst. I would take in a Real Madrid defender or Cambiasso from Juventus. There are both ups and downs there in those teams and players. I'll let you guys decide what to do. With Real Madrid, they have great fixtures against Salzburg at home and then Brest away. I think there's a lot of potential to keep a clean sheet, especially if Camavinga and Tchouaméni, the central defensive midfielders, are back in the squad and they are expected to be fit and back in that squad. But they play on the Wednesday on the matchday 7, and as you can see in this team there are a lot of players that play on the Wednesday. So if you want a bit of a differential and to go on the Tuesday, Cambiasso from Juventus plays against Brugge away. I think there's a lot of potential for a clean sheet there as well. Matchday 8 they play against Benfica at home. That's a bit more difficult, but yeah, still some great options. I think Real Madrid defender edges it out against Cambiasso. Basically because I think it's more important to focus on the amount of points you think they will score instead of having 5 players that play on the Tuesday. But I can imagine it's a mental block that you don't really have a lot of players that play on the Tuesday. So if you really find that annoying, I think Cambiasso is a great and a viable option there as well. So yeah, basically the choice is yours. I would only make one transfer in matchday 7, so that's basically Hakimi out for a Real Madrid defender or Cambiasso, depends on what you will choose. So you can go into matchday 8 with 3 free transfers. There will probably be a lot of players that get a rest or just different squads in general. So the best you can do is to come prepared with an extra free transfer in your pocket. So if you don't know, if you only make one transfer in matchday or in this current week or maybe even next week, you will transfer that extra transfer you have into matchday, well, in the next round. So that means if you only make one transfer in matchday 7, you will get 3 transfers in matchday 8. As I've said, I think there will be a lot of different squads. There will be a lot of rotations, maybe some injuries in matchday 8. So it could be a lot more different, and it will be handy to have an extra transfer into your pocket, an extra free transfer to be exact, not taking a -4 as an extra transfer there as well. For example, there's an opportunity that Liverpool, as they are top of the league, if they win in matchday 6, there's an opportunity that Virgil van Dijk or Trent Alexander-Arnold or Mohamed Salah won't play in matchday 7 as they are already qualified. And that will mean for matchday 8, they probably won't play there as well as they are already qualified. So it's not the worst to have, as for example, PSV have 2 great fixtures, and in the last game they play against Liverpool at home. If Liverpool play with a B team, yeah, there is opportunities for PSV to get some goals there. So not the worst to have a PSV team, just for an example. But I just wanted to bring up this point that it is important to have as many free transfers as you can get into matchday 8. Hope you guys understand the format, but I think I'm clear enough. For just to have an example, Real Madrid defender and Cambiasso on my slide. They play against Salzburg and Brest, and Cambiasso against Brugge and Benfica. The reasoning I've gone with them is because of those fixtures, but also Real Madrid are, I don't even know if they're in the top 24, and Juventus are somewhere in the middle, around 16th place. So they really need to fight for their spots, so they probably will play with their A teams, so you can expect them to play. Hope it clears out. If you have any questions about it, just drop your questions in the comment section. Now this was my wildcard draft for matchday 6. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you recommend any other player, I would like to see that in the comments. Same goes for if I missed some injury news about the players I've put in this this wildcard draft. If there's some injury news, put it in the comments. I think I've cleared it all out, so there shouldn't be any injuries on the Thursday, the 5th of December as of right now. As I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep an eye on the weekend to see if there's any news on your players. I will try to update you guys on my Twitter there as well, FPL Willem, so follow me there if you want some extra news on your players, or maybe some players you don't have but you want to put in your team. Hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys in my next video. It will be my matchday selection, my team selection. So yeah, have a good one, guys. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.